Especially down, because everything was still closed up.
That was a hell of a, yeah, the smell was still really bad back then. You know, you can't say it didn't change in 5 years. No, pretty much. Plastic wall on that is awesome.
Yeah, because you had to put one leg through first and kind of ride that.
We kind of had to
ride the wall.
You had to turn sideways, one leg
some
through,
sun.
duck under. I remember looking at that hole. We can't fit through there.
Yeah. Mike Oh, you're going to start filming this. Sound of Philadelphia. Right here in Dixie Square. Nice.
The 70s never die here.
That's right. Everything else.
I played disc golf.
You go like so hard if it just like flops.
That was more frisbee.
That would have been pretty good if you got it through the.
I was just what I was going for.
space. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have round two.
Round two.
That was practice.
It's too bad you're not competing against anyone. Might even be more interesting. This is Kevin's year. Window across the street.
Kevin, you gotta aim for the open air.
If you're using a driver this big, you know, you shouldn't have very low expectations.
After his upset in Rhode Island last year,
I mean,
Kevin took
it's only a matter of years
bucket
before.
slid through
I'm
him.
surprised Innova hasn't come out with a disc driver like this. I mean, this is just, I don't know what they would call
Kevin's
this.
biggest problem is that he talks most of the time. Never actually drove the fight.
Oh, okay.
The crowd is silent,
Sounds like a challenge for me, Katie.
except for Kevin, who's still talking to himself.
I was just letting you know that I will school you in disc golf.
Okay.
So when
School's
you're
in
ready,
session. Ring
when
bell.
you're ready, you meet me.
You
You
feel
let me
fucking
know.
thing already.
Sometime today.
Three more feet up.
Oh, 3 more.
Went out, sat across the street, went through a window and hit a guy sitting in his chair. He shouldn't have been sitting there.
Right, you should have been sitting there.
I don't know if stuff's holding this. Make your mark on the millennium.
Your mark on the millennium, is that what you said?
Well, when I graduated middle school, we had this big blue banner, and it said "Make your mark on the millennium" for graduating in 2000.
This is your last shot.
That reminded me of that.
3 strikes, you're out. Oh! Oh! He hung it!
Very nice.
Hung it, very
I got shit over here.
Very nice. Now you gotta go up that tilt
Like, you
block
have
to
to do
reach
something,
it.
whatever this video is on here, do something with it.
I will.
Even if it's just for Facebook.
goofing around at Dixie's foot.
So never mind, you're safe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're safe.
Or at least he is. Oh! Almost hung at the same spot.
I would have shit if you would have landed on top of the other. There's worth $10 right there.
Now he's gone.
That's it there. Let's just try to get the other bit off here. I almost did.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I do remember this being very dark now. Wow.
Frozen food sign is gone.
That's really something. Yeah, there's a hole. Good. Contractors are probably doing all the work, you know?
I would think if you played this tall.
I think it'd be all actually a hole with a lunch, you know?
Just like this one, it's not sealed, it's handmade.
Sorry.
What did you say took it, John?
Today I'm going to just kind of walk around the place and give everyone an idea where things are. Now, the big concern is we may have to bail because there are dogs in here. There have been 3 spotted. I've seen 1. So if I see dogs, I am running. I'm going to drop the camera and run. So I guess we'll start in Penneys. Well, I regret to inform everyone that I just took a step into Penneys and one of them barked. So, and they're standing right there by the door. So, instead we're just going to do all of this. And I'm a little shaking right now, so bear with me. We'll just take care of Block B and C, move down to Turnstile Block D, and then move into City Life and Jewel. Penneys, I'm sure you've seen enough. But I'll just stitch some shit in here now, but right now it's just too dangerous to go into JCPenney. There are 3 dogs at least, and they are running around. So this is the Penneys court. The Bluesmobile actually entered through here. This was Walgreens originally, and for the Blues Brothers it was redecorated. This is all new decoration. This is all new decoration. And that's where they actually crashed through and came into the store. Now the Bluesmobile actually comes out through here, spins sideways through here, and heads down toward Woolworth. We'll pick up in a little bit. I just don't want those dogs charging me. They might still be down there. Yep, I see them. I think. They've probably moved on. Penneys is way too dangerous for today. So, at any rate, come down here. Cutting through Rogers Jewelers right now. I'll give you another look of Penneys from what we can see. And we'll come into here, this little corridor. We'll start Block B. Now, I want to stop here for a minute.
1993. A young girl named Denise Shelby was raped and murdered here by a man named Raymond Eves. He's currently serving life sentence. This cross here was set up as a memorial to her. It was actually standing up here years ago. But this is where they found her, was in this general area. So, very tragic. Very, very sad way to go. At any rate, oh, this is all new. This is a new collapse starting in Block B. And it looks like there was some fire here. Not new. We have a mall entrance here. I don't want to get cornered. I just want to make sure I'm not going to get cornered in case one of those dogs charge. So we'll keep coming down here. And obviously you can hear the leaves rustling in the breeze. And this place is a forest, a swamp, you name it. In here, this is one of the fruit stands from the Blues Brothers. You know, they had a couple fruit stands parked out front here. I believe a cop car ricocheted off it. We'll come back into the Penneys court. We'll be coming up on Rogers Jewelers, which was stripped out by the asbestos abatement crews about 5 years ago. Are those dogs nearby? There are some in the area, but that's the neighborhood one. Some funky wallpaper surviving in here. And I don't think I'm going to come back this way once I am done filming. Now the trick with dogs I've heard is don't run. Don't look afraid. So we'll see what that does. This was Frank's drum shop in the Blues Brothers. And the Bluesmobile actually hit a window display that was right here. The other one is still intact. When Dixie Square was opened, this was called Wurlitzer. And I believe it was a piano store. There's actually some unbroken glass back there. Oh, what a desolate place. Looking at the Walgreens grill here. Back in the day, Walgreens had a restaurant. Lots of shit to walk over. Ooh, that smell of mold. And we come in here, there's still a steaks, chicken, and fish sign intact. A couple stock rooms intact beyond those doors. I'm just listening for those dogs. So we'll come into the Block BC corridor. In the Blues Brothers, this was set up as Margie Bridal. I'm not sure what was here off the top of my head originally. In here was a Rory's Women's Apparel, which later became a toy store for the Blues Brothers. In here was a beauty salon. This place had a lot of beauty salons. And there was actually a sign left hanging in there for a product called Stay Soft Froze, hair food for afros. Very 70s. We got more Margie Bridal here. I'll remind you, I'm alone today. This is creepy shit. This is Polk Brothers Record Store, and originally it was a... I'll be damned. Oh, there's some of it still intact. We got some wallpaper for yogurt up here. This used to be a health food store. And then it was a record store. You can still see a sign for the billboard top. There's some record cabinets back there too still. Oh boy. And then you got this whole side getting ready to fall over. We actually found a rack for bikinis or something. I set it over there. It's gone. We're coming up on Howard Family Apparel, which I believe has been burned down. Because there's some tremendous damage in here. As you can see by the plant overgrowth. Although there were some neat treasures in here at one point. There was a sign that said beautiful things. It served for, posed for probably dozens of photos. This, I believe, was Carol's menswear. But I'm not sure. It may have been even been down there. This store collapsed recently. In June, I believe. But it had been sagging. We've been expecting it for years. So that's probably going to start a chain reaction. We got a bird or something. This will probably start a chain reaction in which all of this is going to start collapsing soon. But it's odd because here we got the storefronts and JCPenney, and yet you look at the roof of the main hallway, concourse, whatever you want to call it, it's perfectly fine. It's just rusty, and this is shit tin roof. Oh, a bat. No, a bird. A bird that doesn't know where the fuck he's going. Anyway, and just shit. And this is Just Pants. It may have been something else, but in the Blues Brothers it had a Just Pants sign on it. Come on, this big store here, which actually takes up 3 stores, was called Polk Brothers. It was an appliance store, mattress store. They were a big Chicago institution for a while. And I think they shut down in the 90s. But as I was going back to starting a chain reaction, you can see... What's that? Nothing. You can see all this starting to come down. Now what I meant by chain reaction is all this is probably going to start coming down next. Man, the lighting in here is just much better. The lighting in here has gotten really nice since that collapse. When I came here back in August last year, this was all pitch black. Bert's Shoes was here. It was a pretty big store. It's visible several times on the Blues Brothers. And it was the second to last sign stolen out of the mall. Most recent, actually. And that's gone now. They actually drove a vehicle in here. There are some tire tracks on the ground. That ladder probably had something to do with it. We're coming up on, I'm not sure what it was in reality. But in the Blues Brothers, this was Pier 1 Imports. And a cop car came screaming through here. It's totally gutted. Although there are some elements of old decor still intact. There's a pretty decent flashlight. Now the neat thing about this store, Polk Brothers, it comprises of 3 actual storefronts. Now when they filmed the Blues Brothers in here, they actually redivided it back into 3 storefronts. That's why this red paint ends abruptly here. It's getting dark in here again. General Nutrition Center. This is the last sign in the mall, which I have a bad feeling is going to be stolen real soon. And coming into the Bazaar Court, Center Court, Woolworth Court, goes whatever name you want to call it, or Wonderfall Court, more notably. This little store is all torn up. Now the reason I say Wonderfalls is because this had a fountain in the center originally when it was first built. It was called the Wonderfalls. You can actually still see them up there. And basically, there's a bunch of stories about them, but as far as I know, it was either water dripping down, oil trickling down strings that went into a planter on the ground, or the even more bizarre one was that it flowed upward, but I can't confirm that, obviously. But now in the Blues Brothers, this is where the tent was, the art tent. They sent an art tent up here, and you can see two cop cars getting stuck on this floor. Meanwhile, the Bluesmobile takes off through there and gets stuck in that area, which was originally Woolworth. And it was dressed up to appear like De Pazza Oldsmobile. Hence the term, new Oldsmobiles are in earlier this year. Now the Bluesmobile took off and went down this corridor, down block A and C. And we'll go that way in a minute. We'll come out into Woolworth for a minute, get some sun. Now this place burned down around 2000, big arson, and I guess it was a huge fire. And that almost totally destroyed it. And then they demolished it when demo crews came in, thanks to Deneen and Company. So we'll head down block D. And these triangles were added in the renovation in '76, which is where the blue paint came from. This mall used to be all white. As you can tell by the peeling wallpaper, it's actually just wallpaper. Now block D was built with lower quality building materials. They really half-assed this place. And so that is why it's in much far worse condition than the rest of the mall. This was a pretzel joint here. Damn. We'll go into turnstile in a minute. There's not much there though. I just gotta switch hands here. Okay. Coming down block D. I'm not sure what this store was. But we come here. This was Tom McGann's shoe store. And it had that famous sign that was on there. Or infamous, whichever you want to put it. Now this storefront's completely collapsed. But it happened after the sign was taken down. There's not really much anything else interesting in there. This here was Walden, which was a bookstore, and this looks like it's ready to collapse. Any day now. And so is that in the back. This whole block is becoming unstable. I believe this was Magnavox. Now, the curious thing about this store is it's got a bunch of arcade game licenses in the back, which makes me believe this was an arcade at one point, a video arcade. But I'm not sure when those picked up. I don't know if that was 80s or late 70s. I knew they had arcade games then. Forgive me for being a fucking teenager. This was Musicland. Now, Paul McVeigh and all of them were here earlier, and I thought I overheard him saying there were records in here at one point. Obviously not anymore. Then you got this whole wall that's starting to fall down now. God, they just half-assed this place. I think they just built one big store and then divided it up using these cheap plywood walls. That's almost what it looks like. We got some of my post-it notes still hanging in there. And I'm not sure what was in here. So now we'll go into Turnstile. Climb over the window. Oh, fuck. I'm getting tired of this shit. So, Turnstile. Added in 1970 as an expansion as part of Block D. Which, curiously, was... the mall was already in decline. We got some light streams in here. Cool. Now there's basketball hoop. After the mall closed, the property was leased to the Harvey Dixmoor School District, who used it as a temporary elementary school while they were building a new one. So there were a couple hundred kids here. And it's actually not the first time a mall's been repurposed as a school, because Lakehurst Mall had that happen when the floods hit in 1986. But at any rate, when Universal came in, filmed the Blues Brothers, they did a ton of damage, obviously. And Harvey Dixmoor attempted to sue Universal for the damages. And I think the judge ended up tossing it. Oh, it got dark in here again. This is the main entrance to Turnstile. But no, this store has just been totally gutted. Come back out, son. Coming up on the loading docks. Someone's here. Somebody is here. Which means I think I'm going to dismantle it now in the event that I have to run. Just got to remain really quiet. I just got to remain very quiet. And then again, it could just be the dogs. Then again, a lot of people were expected to come out here today. So you never know. I'm breathing in all this asbestos. Damn. Really, this is gonna be just my luck. The one time I decide to come alone, and I get jumped. I still gotta get my hoodie. Okay. Nice echo in here. Now I'm going to lower the legs on the tripod, just so I can make it easier if I have to run. I'm almost positive that was the dogs making noise. I'm just folding up my legs here. Okay, we'll just pray and get ready to run. Up there is some of the offices for this store. And those are just some stock rooms. Alright, let's head out. I'll grab my coat and then just run. I'm almost sure the dogs are just walking around in there. And even those are worth concern. We have a chair here. For those of you that doubt there's anything artistic in Dixie Square anymore, you got a couple chairs in here. Chairs always make a place nice. I'm sorry I can't complete the tour, but this is just getting way too risky. Let me go get my coat, which has been hanging on a shelf all morning. Back over here. Damn it. Get my coat. I'm not sure. If there's no one down there, I'll just keep talking to you. Doesn't look like there's anyone down there. It's clear. Okay, sorry about that. You can never be too safe at this place. Or paranoid. Anywho. Coming back down to block A and C, excuse me. This is where some of the Blues Brothers filming was done. The Pazzo Oldsmobile was here. This was the Harvest House restaurant. It was a little small restaurant that Woolworth owned, although it had its own storefront. I'm getting hungry. We're coming up on a camera shop. These are some of the remaining Block A stores which have been gutted by asbestos abatement. Now beyond there was the central energy plant, which is just down to concrete bases, foundations. Down here was where Ward's would have been. This was the main mall entrance, which was accidentally bulldozed in 2005 and then finally torn the rest down in 2006. This was Davidson's Bakery, which was a fake storefront set up for the Blues Brothers. A little bit of the decor still left. Hardy Shoes, an original 66 tenant. Its signage still intact. And it actually has a nice convenient access to City Life nightclub, disco, whatever you want to call it. Now this place has been burned once, where the mall offices actually were. The bar has been falling apart for a long time. There was a game room back there. That gives a nice access to Jewel. And then these were the mall offices, but we'll go in there in a minute. Because in here we have intact bathrooms. Almost. Intact mirrors, at least. There's another one back there as well. And then up here we got the mall offices, which were burned down years ago in an arson. They're all collapsing. I'm not going to go up there, though, because there's a hornet's nest up there. Which I really don't feel like fucking around with. I'm going to pause here for a moment.